Hey guys, welcome back. This is Storm and welcome to episode 187 of our single player Tiveden world. Well, it's been a hot minute, but this is where we pretty much left things off in the last episode, which was a long time ago. Life happened, things got in the way. Some of the details are on my Twitter feed if you ever want to go check out that. But if you're new here, welcome. This is a survival series that I started back in Minecraft 1.3, so it's a very old world. And for those returning players, yes, this series is still going, and I still want to make it into future episodes. There's a lot to do and a lot to catch you up on. Now, since the last episode, there are a few things that I've worked on. I've showed some of those kind of minor updates in the montage at the start of this episode. Some of these things you'll see more in episode 200 at the World Tour. I do want to get to the World Tour and also show you guys a new world download so you can go check out things for yourself. There was one particular grindy thing that I did work on while I was not making these episodes, and that was trying to get myself a blue axolotl. So we have a whole lot of these friends here, and this is the result of really doing a whole lot of breeding. Yeah, you're trying to interrupt my party. These screaming goats are all over this island, but that's okay. They don't really like axolotls either. They will headbutt them. But yeah, so I've been getting a lot of these guys, and that's because of the breeding operation. That's why we had created this area right here. So it was a simple way, 2x2 squares, and having 2 axolotls in each to run around and breed them up and try and get myself one of those blue axolotls. They are very rare. It's only one in every 1200 breeding on average you get them. And for me, I'm pretty sure I was well over that because it took me forever. But I did finally get one. This is a blue axolotl right here. So there we go. This is the ultra rare one. And now that I've got one, I can just breed this guy up with a regular axolotl and get myself some additional blue axolotls, and that's a nice little find. But geez, the grind was really real with this. And I'm not sure how many I did have to breed, but I swear I was well and truly over 1200 to get one of these guys. So one side effect of breeding all these axolotls is you get a lot of excess. So we have those just there. We also have a few other collection spots right over here and a few other areas here, there, and there. It does screw up the game sounds a little bit, but that's Minecraft. There's always a few bugs here and there. But let's go check out the main storage. That was where we're just storing some of the axolotls. You never know, we might need them in the future for something, perhaps raiding another ocean monument or something else in the world. Like there's a monument down there that I haven't raided yet. And axolotls can be a good partner in crime when it comes to raiding those. But I have been going over to this direction. This is where we have a warm ocean, and I've been collecting the tropical fish, also doing some breeding and bringing most of the fish back to that Goat Island area. So this is where I want to check out how many axolotls we did have to breed in the end. Now, just be prepared. We are going to go into a bit of a slideshow here because axolotls really slow down your game when you have a lot of them in the one location. So let's go and check out stats and go to mobs. Alright, so there's 7 axolotls that I've killed so far. So if we were to remove other axolotls with TNT, then that will basically tally up for us the number of axolotls we've had to place here through the breeding operation that we had going for that blue axolotl. So it's not an exact science. There are other axolotls that I've kept around my world that won't be tallied up by removing them here, but I think this will give us a pretty good indication how close we are to that one in magical 1200 number of the breeding ratio to get ourselves a blue axolotl. Well, that's definitely improved the performance of this area. We can actually get some frames back now. Now, we're not done just yet. We do have additional pens over in this direction. And if we thought the frames were bad where we were back over there, just wait till you see this. Yes, this is where slideshow heaven comes into play. Let's see if we can land. Okay, we could land. That was nice, but you can see it's a lot slower here again. And we do have a lot more of these axolotls to deal with, so I can't even make that jump. That was that bad. Okay, let's try and remove these as well, and then we'll tally up the number of axolotls. So all the axolotls have now been removed and the frame rates are now back to normal. So let's go check the stats again and see how close we were to that magical 1200 mark, because we started with 7 axolotls. If the stats show around that number, then we know the average is about right, but we're well and truly over that. We're about 1.5 times that amount. So remember, this started with 7, and by using the TNT, these counted as player kills. So this is basically more or less how many axolotls we've done breeding on. Probably actually another 200 more of this, I'd guess, by the number of axolotls we have around our world that I haven't put into these pens and that were created from breeding. So yeah, I'm just really unlucky, I think. I was definitely 1.5, probably even closer to 2 times the average that I had to go through before I got myself a blue axolotl. Alrighty, so now we're back on the main island. This is where we started everything in this world, and we have a map of the location there. Don't worry if you haven't seen this before, there will be an up-and-coming world tour, as I've mentioned. Otherwise, there is previous world tours you can go check out. Now this little house here, this is something that I've put a little bit of changes into since the last episode. Did some work on the exterior, just added in this cart on the outside with some barrels and storage around it. Worked on this path a little bit to make it blend in and kind of curve around a little bit nicer. And I've also changed the interior of this store and just made it look a little bit more fresher and modern, I guess. And I've also got an upstairs area now for a villager. If we're going to put a villager here at some point, they could hang out upstairs. Now the doors are automatic. They'll open and close during the day, and we do that through some redstone. So beneath this block here we have a daylight sensor, so that can detect the sunlight all the way through all these blocks all the way up to the sky. So at night time these doors will now automatically close, and same during a thunderstorm. So if we do have a villager that's kind of like hanging out in this building, that could represent them opening and closing shop for the day, and yeah, they can have their trading hours. So I might do this with some other buildings on this island. I'm not sure if we'll do it with all of them, but it's a nice little idea. It adds a bit of something that's changing, and it's also cool for me. So during the day I can just run on through the building as well. I don't have to worry about opening the doors. And you can see it is starting to get night time, so we will see the doors close here in a minute, and that will show you guys how the system works. Now these doors do have a little bit of a delay, so they don't all open and close exactly at the same time. After all, the villager would have to walk between all the doors to close them, but you could hear that was the doors closing, and yeah, now it's all closed up for the day. So I think that's a nice way to add a little bit of change and movement in your world. Now for this episode, what I think we'll do is we'll ease our way back into things. We won't do anything too major or too drastic. What we'll try and do is just do a few touch-ups here and there on a few builds around this main island, and then we'll get ready for something more substantial in the next one. So for example, with this building, I've been looking at this one for a while, and I have thought about making a couple of changes, like perhaps putting in some stripped versions just on the sides, just to break up the darkness of the exterior. So I'll probably do something like that, and maybe something on the sides here. So maybe something like that. And for this pond area, we could add a little bit of life to it. There we go, that looks a little bit better. And I think we'll make a slight modification to this dock ship here and introduce another block type. Now I do like the stripped dark oak wood we have along in parts of the ship here, but I'm going to add some buttons. I think they'll add a little bit more variation to it as well, and not be overpowering with the different blocks and colors that we're going for. So we're going to go for a two-tone look. I was trying out spruce, but it looked too similar. So we'll go for jungle at the bottom, and then up here on the next layer up, we're going to use oak. Well, there we go, a few buttons later, and I think it looks pretty good. Well, damn it. So maybe this is a sign that we need to work on our bee shop slash chicken shop. We've got a bit of damage to clean up, but I am thinking of adding some modifications, making this look a little bit nicer, expanding it out to the side, and adding an upper deck as well. So we're going to get some supplies ready and then start working on that. Oh, how you going, buddy? You're going to also try and create some more havoc, are you? And Oh, I see you down there. You're kind of blending in. Oh, geez, they're out everywhere. They're out to get me. Anyway, so yeah, we are going to work on this. And I also noticed that I don't hear any bees. There's usually bees in these beehives. But it's pretty quiet. So we're going to have to go get some more bees to populate these as well, so the farm can keep going. So what I'm thinking of doing with this bee shop is to get an outside area up the top here. So we're going to turn this into like a restaurant style. So we'll have a staircase that comes up here to the outside. And this will be the ground level. So that means this needs to go. And so do these. We won't worry about underneath here for the time being. We can fix that later. And these can all probably go as well. So let's remove that. And we're going to just extend this out. In fact, how far do we need to go? That is the question. Why don't we remove these? I do have some stairs on me. So why don't we do that? That creates kind of like the outline of where we need to build. And then this now becomes the deck floor. I think this tree has to go. It's getting in the way. But we're going to extend this side entrance way a little bit. It's not even going to be an entrance, it's just... So this is probably as large as we want to go with the expansion. So now on to the next steps of some detailing. So let's check it out. The exterior and the interior is now done. We've got this little balcony overhang thing. I think it looks okay. Adds a little bit more character to this side of the building. And then over this side, let's just get up here onto the leaves and we can take a better look. We can run around. There we go. Yeah, just a nicer, cleaner look. And I removed a couple of trees that were overhanging over here as well. And that will create some room for a path if we ever want to establish something like that. And I've also thought about putting in a better rail circuit that goes down to this building as well. So maybe we'll do something like that in a future episode. And then there's nothing really on this side. And then if we cruise around to the top part and take a peek in. So here we go. Did I change anything here? I think I added in this light post thing. But that's pretty much it there. And then redid the interior. We've seen this section out here, nothing has changed. Pretty standard stuff. And then down below, this is where I've also added in a nicer basement area for some extra storage and also a sleeping quarters. I've walked past this section of this pathway numerous times, like just probably thousands of times. And I only just noticed this. Do you ever get this where you chop down a tree or two neighboring trees and the leaves join? This is a birch leaf block, And then we've got the oak tree here. So this has been like this for a very long time. There would have been a oak tree just here, or sorry, a birch tree just here. And then, yeah, that's what's left behind after cutting it down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this tree and then plant in hopefully one of those larger trees you can create, where kind of like this one. Then that might also give us a nice little overhang across this little pathway here as well. So check it out, this oak tree is now complete. Very basic modifications, but I think it adds a lot to the look when it kind of overhangs. And it's pretty crazy how all I did was really move this tree trunk over one block, and it makes it almost like it does curve over the top of the path. Yeah, but it should actually be straight up. So it a little bit deceiving, but I think it works. And I really like actually at sunset when the sun starts to move down in this direction and you get the orange glow between this gap as you walk on through this pathway. I don't know, I think it's just a really nice special spot of the island as you go down towards that dock area. So very happy with this and how this turned out, even though it's very basic at the end of the day. Alrighty, so this other section over here, this is a bare area that I've had open for just a long time, and I've been thinking about putting in a orchard here. So I've got some sweet berries on me and some coarse dirt and podzol. I've just started to chop down these trees because what I'm thinking of doing is grabbing my, let's do this. Let's grab our shovel here and just clear a spot. I actually want to know what will look better if I was to plant podzol, or put podzol down rather, and then we do like the coarse dirt, and then compare it when we are growing sweet berry bushes on top. Because I want to do like strips, like an orchard is where they're usually planted. It's for agriculture, right? So this is where you might want to have synergy and the most optimum planting so you can run along with your tractor and collect all your goods and harvest it that way. So I'm going to have like strips of sweet berry bushes, and I'm thinking of having maybe, I mean, I have to light this up so it doesn't spawn the angry mobs at night. So I might have some posts every now and then. Maybe like this. And then we'll have the other post down this end. And then we'll have to hide some lighting somehow. We could use, or candles out here will look very strange, but maybe I could use torches or something like that. So yeah, what's the better look? Let's clear these. I think to really appreciate it, I might need to grab some bone meal here. Yeah, let's grab some of this. And just grow these. And then compare it to this one. Maybe this one. Maybe the coarse dirt looks better than the podzol. The podzol's not bad, but maybe the coarse dirt is better. I think I'll go with the coarse dirt for now, and then we can even mix in, like variant this. We could do blocks like this. So every other couple of blocks, put in some podzol. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think about that. So what do you think? Does this look like an orchard behind me? At night time I think it looks quite snazzy. It's nicely lit up. No mobs will spawn up here because we've got underneath each of these trapdoors one of these jack-o'-lanterns, and we've also mixed in some of these puzzle blocks in the end just to try and break up the landscape a little bit. I think it looks good, and it might be a bit straight on this side. I'm not sure why it turned out being that way. Some of these rows are a little bit more straighter than I would initially had hoped. Over here they're okay. They have a bit of a nice contrast and curve to them, a bit of a pattern to them. But yeah, it just started to pan out that they got straighter and straighter as we went down. But I don't know. I think it's still okay after all. And we've got enough space here to do something down the bottom. I always thought about putting a house down here, maybe like a farmhouse. That's for the farmer that's looking after this orchard. So that might come up in a future episode. So we're going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the series and the return of it. And you might be wondering after all of this, which version of Minecraft am I on? Do you think I'm on the latest version? You'll have to let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys hopefully soon in the next one. Cheers, guys.